The following TBT interview with Charles Kelsey by James Irvine and Matt Burns was pre-recorded via the power of the internet. Audio discretion is advised with this interview. We hope you enjoy. Thank you. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Matt Burns, and welcome to TBT Interviews. And of course, with me, I have got my co-host, who is none other than
James Irvine.
And our guest for TBT Interviews is none other than Charles Kelsey.
The person you despise because I have your belt and I won't give it back. Simple as, isn't it? Ha ha ha.
Funny.
No comment.
Not funny. This is no comment. Just because you got a fake big belt, yours is fake and mine's real, doesn't mean that you can start on me, homie.
There's a difference between an actual championship and the belt that holds up your pants.
Guys.
No, I got two of those belts. I got one that holds up the pants, and then I got a nice big UKWA belt, and you've got a WWE one. So yours says made in China by WWE. Mine says DOS on it, so mine wins.
I'm made in Britain.
Yes, in Leamington Spa.
Yeah.
Leamington Spa.
Anyway, let's get down to why we're here, which is to interview the UKWA champion, none other than Charles Kelsey,
the Dosser King, the winner.
Dosser King. Yep.
Dosser King.
Dosser.
Now, the funny thing about it is, if many people who have been listening to The Burning Truth may recognise Kelsey's voice, because he has been on The Burning Truth in the past as originally was a former guest host, became a main host, and then sort of
got kicked out.
He went kicked out. It was sort
of...
Was.
Literally, it was like 1 week, like always be, help us, we need you. Oh, can you just do one in a couple of weeks? I'm like, yeah. And then it's like, never heard from you again until the other day. After, I took your belt off your little champion and then made it better than he ever did. And then, it's like, oh, I don't want to ever speak to you again. It's like, they need ratings. They're like, oh, I need you. That's how it is. Don't worry. Don't you worry.
As you can probably tell, there's no love lost between me and Charles Kelsey. But
somehow a tag team partner with you elsewhere. I don't know how that happens, but anyway.
I don't know what it is. It's almost bizarre land. But anyway, the funny thing about it is he's here, and in case we're going to be asking him questions that I already know the answer to, but not everyone does. Probably James Irvine doesn't know. Who knows?
I know nothing.
We wouldn't know that. But anyway, one thing I will say is, Charles, thanks very much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. That's the only compliment I'm ever going to give you on this episode.
Thank
you for having me.
That's fine with me. And one thing that people probably want to know is how you got into the wrestling business.
Again.
Let's see, 2007, while in my good old hometown of Dudley.
Dudley.
No, you're not even doing it properly. Shush, don't even start.
Dudley.
Anyway, I heard from a friend that they were doing some training sessions in the swimming place in Dudley Baths, and there's a little tennis room for squash, and it was holding there, and I went there in a pair of jeans, a polo shirt, and I took bumps, and that's how it all started.
There's always a beginning, and I'm pretty sure that your story to getting into the wrestling business probably started a bit earlier, like what got you into wrestling in the first place.
When I was 2, watching WrestleMania 7.
WrestleMania 7.
The good old co-main event of Warrior Savage for the career on the line. And then, of course, Hogan must pose against Sergeant Slaughter, the ultimate bad guy at the time, because he was not in the good books of America.
That he wasn't. But one thing I will say I'll need to ask about your training is, how did you find your first bump?
I was absolutely terrible at it. The only bump I could do was a flip bump. Couldn't do a back bump properly, couldn't do a front bump properly. I was absolutely horrendous. The only thing I could do is flip over because I was big and fat and looked good. It's the truth.
Oh my God. Oh.
And yet, one thing I will say is, in regards to Charles, is he is a talented man at his craft, and knows how to make make everything look effortless.
Oh, that's two people now that you're sucking on, just like you were Big Dick Johnson the other day. Got you. I got you again.
Careful, a certain Jimmy might start suing soon. But anyway.
We don't need that.
No. But anyway, we digress. One thing I will say is, what was it like having your first match?
January? It was like June 2008. I was in a Rumble. And I wore a tank top, some good old PE shorts, blue knee pads, and some trainers. I looked the absolute shit. Excuse my language, but it is true.
Oh no, language goes. It's quite, as far as language goes, it's quite open. So
yeah.
have you fill.
I don't like
actually
too much. I don't. No, we don't want that. Anyway, how can I put it in the nicest way? It's the truth. If I said it was like, it looked cack, no, it was literally the shits.
Did you look like Raven, but the Poundland version?
No, I look like the Wish version.
Oh!
Expensive and disappointed when it's actually arrived.
Oh,
well, now that's us getting sued.
Oh please! They know. They have that. They know it. They love it.
Yeah, they know it. They love the attention.
Oh, wishy.
And all I'll say is not sponsored.
Boom.
No, definitely not.
I was about to say, if you were sponsored by Wish, you'd be going, no, don't talk about Wish. Just say nice things about them. They give me lots of free things off Wish, like good old 8-hand wireless chargers and everything. Don't slag them off. No.
Yeah, ones that explode in your face.
Like a Note 7.
Well, one thing I will say is with wrestling is from your first match, I take it, was it a good experience? Was it a bad experience? Was it a learning experience?
A learning experience. I need to do a lot more stuff. I need to look better. And I didn't do it.
And would you say that there was any, if you could go back now, is there anything that you probably would have told yourself or would advise anyone who was wanting to get into the business? Any advice you would want to?
I would have given myself a big slap in the face, telling you to actually take it serious and stop being such a whinger and to get on with it. Because like back then, like 2008, because I don't class that as my official debut, because even though it's like my first ever thing I've done, I don't class that as my official like debut till I've actually had a match.
Okay.
But it was terrible, because I was like, oh, can I do this? Oh no, I can't do this. Oh no. Should I look this face?
Here's one thing I want to know though. What was going through your head when you actually, before you got into the ring, like backstage? What was going through your head? Talk me through it.
I need a wee.
Another Ivana Tinkle.
Yeah, I need another tinkle. Get rid of all that excess water.
Ivana Tinkle.
Yeah, and then I was just thinking, oh, will I look decent? Oh, do I look right? Just doubt myself. We could have took things a lot more seriously, but it is what it is. That's all I could say about it, really.
Were you shitting yourself?
Of course I was. Of course I was.
Yeah, I'll say this: anyone who's debuting, if they weren't, then there's something wrong.
Even now, at the end of the day, even if you've done like 1,000 shows or anything like that, or there's better shows than I have, not everyone's done. A lot of people done more than I have, but if you don't have those nerves, then something's going to go wrong because you're not worried about it. Because you don't, in my opinion, if you've got those butterflies and you've got those like little things of, I want to do okay, let's do this, let's go, then you're not taking it seriously then, in my opinion, because like if you're willing to go, oh yeah, it's going to be okay, there's no point, because that's, to me, that little butterfly thing is the passion, like going, let's go out and make some magic.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
I would agree with that, yeah. But that leads me to my next question, though. What was your feeling after your first match?
That was different.
That was different.
It was literally like that, going, that was different, because I didn't get booed and get cheered, but we got pops. I did stall the suplex, I remember that. I've got it on DVD. I watched it the other day with the kids and I couldn't watch it. But I remember the feeling. I was like, well, that was different, I like this, but I knew I'd have to work on my game.
Yeah.
I knew what. Wait, you first.
I take you to after you. Wait, I take it you're part of the idea of watching your debut match and you're watching, as you're watching, you're like, oh, I did that wrong.
No. When I watched it the other day, it was, how terrible do I look? Oh my God.
I had a feeling he was going to say that then. How shit do I look? I actually can't watch this because I'm embarrassed of myself.
I was. Like my kid was like, oh yeah, look, it's Dad. I'm like, yeah, but that's not me. He's like, but it is Dad. You're there. I'm like, no, that's not me. I am.
That's not me. That's my twin.
That's your imaginary uncle. No, it was. How can I put this in the nicest way? Like he was trying to be nice, going, "Oh, that's you." I'm like, no, there's a difference. You've seen Daddy as he is now. You haven't seen that. This is Daddy when he was just stupid. That didn't take it seriously. That thought, like when I first got into wrestling, me, Carson Bailey, and a friend of ours, we literally took it as a joke, and he took it a bit more serious than I did. And it was just like, it was ready to get fit. I always wanted to do it, but I was like, oh, let's do this. And then I got on a show, and I was like, oh. Then I trained quite decently to get my first match. That was a tag match. And then I looked even worse because I thought I was John Cena. I wore 3/4 camos with trainers and blue knee pads.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh,
You look like a goddamn bowl of Fruity Pebbles.
No, Fruity Pebbles probably looked nicer than I did that day. I didn't have wrist tape on either. That's the biggest regret ever. Wrist tape's a must. I didn't have it on. It's disgusting.
You'd have looked the part. Honestly, you would have really looked the part if you had.
I looked more professional instead of someone like, not even Wish. It was like something that you buy off Craigslist.
I don't know if you remember this, but it's like you used to get the cheap versions of the Ken doll. You know what I mean? Yeah, you used to just call it Special K.
No, not Special K. It's like, let's go to the marketplace. Here's a cheap knockoff Chinese third-party Ken doll. This is you. This could be you. And it's like, oh, might as well go for that because I'm broke, but I can't be arsed saving up like an idiot. It's true. At the end of the day, this is like, you're asking me these questions. I'm just going to give you the right answers because this is the experience of I had and like how I felt about it. Like, especially looking back at it now, it's like the only good thing about the first tag match I had was I slapped Joey Starr tough out Joey Osborne's.
Oof.
There was a lot of things that day. A lot of things. And that's all I'll say about that.
Pretty much. So, probably at the time, because you said you weren't taking it so serious, when did you actually start consider taking it serious?
When I went to a different company, because my first ever company I wrestled at was FCW, funny enough. And then I went to a company called Pro Wrestling Live, PWL, run by Mad Dog Max. It was great at the start. I was a body call called The Big Deal. That's when I started wearing the tights and shirt. Then some things happened, which I will not explain because it will be a big tangent and it's not worth my time.
No, that's fine.
And I got kicked out. And then that's where I started getting good. And then I went to Slam. And then I think in end of 2012, that's when I started just becoming me. And then that's when I first met you as well.
Oh,
It was in Warsaw at the Gunners Club because it was Kyle and Scott Scott versus Dave Del Vecchio and Score, as aka at the time, Scorpio. Yeah, someone called Kyle. Not Matt Burns. Like Kyle.
You heard about my cousin?
No, yeah, it's actually no. You're both ugly as it is anyway. So yeah,
Funny.
Set your teeth fall out and this didn't.
I just had a facepalm moment.
What do you mean facepalm moment? Carl, Matt Burns' real name's not Carl. It's Matt Burns.
Yeah.
He's only got Matt. He was only called Matt Burns because of Big Dick Johnson.
No, it wasn't. Don't make me say the story, which I've heard a bazillion times. Do not do that to me.
No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. No.
It's written into folklore.
No, it's folklore.
It's written in folklore. It's written in the stars. It's almost been up and down. It's been said multiple times. To multiple towns, to multiple venues.
You know what? Yeah. Your story of how you got your name, Mr. Burns, is literally like you got the 10 Commandments on 2 slabs, and then you made your own little slab and put literally everything on there.
What makes it even worse? It's not even me who made it.
You are old, so you probably were back in that day. Back in my day when we put things on stone tablets.
Back in day.
Back in my day.
Back in day, lad. Back in day.
Well, I was about to make my debut. I didn't know what's going to happen. And I didn't know what name I was going to use. And I went around to everybody. But Keith Meyer told me, well, it'd be called Matt Burns. And then that was when history was made. I became the funk soul, not so brother at the time, Matt Burns.
Oh, if anybody wants to read that story, they can easily just go onto the Burning Truth website and actually read his blog.
Or be on a car ride with me and him.
Yeah.
Speaking of car rides, I was just about to say, have you got any funny road stories? And I just realised, and I probably know most of them, and I'm expecting some.
Let's see. Road stories. There's quite a lot, but I want to make sure there's a decent one because there's a time I made you literally drive around for 2 hours because I made you go off the wrong turning. There's a police chase when I was come back from a show on the M6, which was brilliant. It was amazing because I was like popping on, like, oh, it's a police chase on the M6. Oh my gosh. I was like Joey Styles that day. It was beautiful. There's the ICW one where me, Matt, and 2 friends, including my son, AJ Hughes, went to watch it.
Oh, yeah. I definitely know what that one is.
Where I got very, 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 very drunk. And decided to body slam AJ Hughes on his car in front of the police while flipping him off.
Literally. And I think what made it even more funny is the fact that as you did that, I'm looking on thinking, oh, great, we're going to prison. Or, we're going to the police station. And I just saw the officer looking back as if to say, no thanks, don't want the headache or having all the paperwork. See ya.
Beautiful.
I can't be dealing with you two reprobates.
There's 4 of us, and then I know on the way back that AJ threw up, and I stole his beer, and then Matt Burns had a go at me. And there's a time where I'm trying to think, where I was in a car with James Terry and 2 other guys, and one guy was really annoying me, but James Terry's front seat was faulty. It wouldn't lock in properly, so I kept going back and forth and hitting this guy on purpose. I forgot
about that one.
Yeah, I was on the motorway for 3 hours at night because they closed some junction of it. I was coming from Leicester as well, but I was in Dudley at the time, and it was, oh my gosh, that's all I'm going to say. Just horrible. Horrible.
That's just brilliant. That's just brilliant. So I will say, have you got any match? I'm not saying your favorite, your best ever match or anything. Have you got any fond matches that you like to talk about or like to remember?
There's quite a few of them. I've had lots of 1-hour matches with James Terry. They were quite fun.
Mm-hmm.
When I jobbed you on my birthday. You can't make it. You are not going to do good enough. And yeah, no one else could follow it, so fuck you. There's quite a lot of them. There's a lot of them I've enjoyed. There's I could tell you tons of I've not enjoyed, and those are stories which I'll tell later on. But there are a lot of them I've gone, oh yeah, I really like that match. Or I thought, oh, this is one of my favourite matches. And there's some people you can just gel with without realising. There's some people you just don't, and you expect to.
Yeah.
Just one of those, but I've got quite a few of them, so I'm happy with it.
I will say, I liked how you mentioned the infamous birthday one because you remember it, but if I recall, didn't you get someone in trouble?
Yeah, the person who's talking right now.
Yes.
Do a cannonball. No. I don't want to do it. Just do a cannonball. Believe me, or get over. What happened? It got over. Gets backstage. Why are you doing a cannonball for? It's my move. You don't wrestle at all. Go away. You're in Wales. You want to wrestle in Wales. Shush. Go away. And he comes up to me going, oh, that was really good. I'm like, okay, that's fine. That's nice, thanks. And then walks off and talks to you all night. And then he then talks to my wife about some stuff on Facebook. I'm like, oh, that's charming.
But one thing I will say is, there's probably, like we said, popular matches or anything. Is there any matches that you used to watch on TV that you probably enjoyed watching and always fondly remember?
Yes, so we've got the Iron Man match between Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. Of course.
Great match.
I loved the Taker Mankind Hell in a Cell.
Oh yeah.
When I started getting a bit older, it was Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit. I don't care what they think. At the end of the day, him as a wrestler was flawless and he was amazing. He was intense. I don't care about the actual person with that.
I agree with that. That's one of the things that I always say about Chris Benoit is that it's not the person that we're talking about; it's the wrestler that we're talking about.
Yeah.
As technical wrestler, just how intense he was, like a Dynamite Kid. It's amazing. It's a shame, but it doesn't stop me from watching his matches because at the end of the day, they're amazing. I'm trying to think of other matches because I used to Goldberg and DDP. Probably the only few WCW matches I've ever liked.
Best 2 minutes of your life.
Yeah, because it went off, didn't it?
Was that Halloween Havoc?
Yep. Because good old Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, went 45 minutes of boredom.
I think that was the infamous Hogan and Warrior match where Hogan even openly admitted he made a mistake.
He had lots of mistakes.
Didn't we do an epic fail on that one?
Epic fail.
I think we have, yeah.
I think we have. I can't remember.
I think Well, it depends on which one we were covering. I think we're on about the moments of the first encounter, but the second one wasn't briefly mentioned. I don't think yet, which was to do with the flash paper.
Oh God.
I'm gonna light it in your face. Oh no, it's in my face.
Yeah. But yeah, so as you can imagine, there's plenty, probably fond memories. Is there any wrestlers who you look up to?
Are we going from when I first started watching wrestling or now?
I'd say, why not get both? See if there's a change.
As a kid, Hogan,
Mm-hmm.
Savage, Taker, Bret Hart, Kevin Nash, and I used to love Sting. Now it's Flair, Kevin Owens, Taker. I still love Kevin Nash. I like Booker T's work because it's Booker T. I can't do a Spin Rooney yet, but I will get there one day. Bobby Roode. I love Ibushi stuff. There's loads. It's different, but at the end of the day, like now, and Ted DiBiase. I love Ted DiBiase. Senior.
Yeah. I can imagine that. Yeah. I will say quite a bit of a difference there between the workers there.
Yeah, I was just about to say it's quite a mix there. It's like a bag of all sorts.
It's like a bag of all stars, mate.
Oh,
Think you're gonna get those? Well, yeah. Think you're gonna get that caramel stuff? No, you're gonna get that coffee naffness.
Oh God! It's never a dull moment with Charles around.
No, especially when I went to your training that one day.
Which one?
He's fat. He can't do much. When I went, like the last time I went to train with you guys before I injured my ankle, I'm like, oh yeah, But I made you. But I was like just rolling around with you for a bit, and then you ran off because you were tired.
Oh no! You're on about the no. I know exactly which one you're on about. You're on about the during when we had the. It was between the actual lockdowns. I believe, was this in Birmingham?
No.
No.
This is before lockdown 2.
Oh no, I was referring to the infamous one in Birmingham.
Is that the one when I turned up and he was blowing?
No, no. I'm on about the one even worse than that.
Yeah, so we went down to use the ring for 2 hours, and I was like, yeah, let's just wrestle. Like, we haven't like bumped in like months, and I was like overexcited, like a kid in the candy store. I was like, yes, get in, son, let's do this. And I was just like doing loads of stuff, and then after a while, good old Matt Burns, like, I can't go on. I was like, what do you mean you can't go on? It's like, I feel a bit tired. I'm like, well, come on, let's go. Pay for this face for 2 hours there, mate. Let's go.
One thing I will say, and this is a genuine compliment, with Charles, regardless of it, if you're training with him, one thing I will say, he will get you push beyond what your body is capable of and more. Sounds good training.
That's good. Not really. It's just about I like to go hard. I like to put the work in. Everyone else to put the work in because then they feel better with themselves. Going, I might be a bit tired or I might be a bit gassed, but gosh, I'd had a good workout. No, yeah. I like that.
I actually agree with that. The fact is, because if I remember me okay at the time. After I was like, later on in the day, I felt really good the fact that it happened.
Yeah, because you text me going, oh, I feel really good. I'm like, I know.
So, but just bearing in mind that earlier, if I'm not mistaken, you said you weren't very well trained in the early days, and yet now, for me personally, I'd say he's almost like a cardio master.
I think before I got in, just before I left PWR for Slam, I started getting my cardio up. Like, my cardio was absolute trash. Like, I didn't jog. I didn't do any. I was like, everyone knows my favourite food's a kebab. And like, I would overindulge in those and not work out, and just I was terrible. Then I thought, you know what, let's start getting the cardio up and stuff, and then from there, when I started getting that under the belt, I was like, okay, I can do a bit more here. I can do a bit more here. Maybe not bump so much here. Let's do some other stuff. And then, luckily, I started doing those hour matches, and I was like, you know what, screw it, let's go all out. And luckily, you know, like for the first like few minutes, I might look like I'm tired, but it's like okay, just get my body used to it. And then as soon as you get past the 5-minute mark, you're screwed. Because I will go and go and go and go and go. And if you go to me, I'm tired, I'm like, well, guess what? We got another like load of minutes left, so we're not doing anything else.
Oh,
I've had that a lot of times. I've had that lots of times.
I've seen some of your victims.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some of your victims.
Let's go home. Nope, we got 12 minutes left, mate. You're doing 12 minutes, whether you like it or not. If you're throwing up afterwards, I don't care.
If I'm not mistaken,
minutes of me shine.
If I'm not mistaken, one of your victims thought they could keep up with you, and they ended up completely, absolutely blowing. They weren't even halfway through, were they?
It's a quarter. I know which one you're about because it was the fact of he wanted to go his pace. I was like, okay, I'll go your pace. So he went fast. I was like, okay, we could do that. At the end of the day, I jogged close to like 4 or 5 miles anyway, so I don't mind. And he's like, he's going. He's getting tighter and tighter. So I thought, you know what? We got my pace. So I upped the pace a little bit more. A lot more than he wanted. He's like, let's stop. I was like, nope. You've got 20 minutes, my friend. Let's go. Come on. And then I made him go 30.
Yep.
Gets backstage. He's puffing it. And I'm like, I told you can keep up. I think the best one of the best ones I've had is when I was at the camp, and I'm not going to mention his name because it's not worth it. Just going to call him Sausage Tits. And he's got sausage tits. And we had a match, and he was like, "Oh, I want to go 5 minutes." I'm like, no, mate, we've only got 4 people. It's a camp. If Matt Burns knows this, if you're on like some camp runs, there's only a few matches, and there's only a few wrestlers. This one, there's only 3 matches, and there's only 4 wrestlers. So I thought, you know what? You want to go? Let's go. And I made him go 25 minutes for like, I think it was like 800 people. And backstage, he was throwing up, he was crying. I was like, stop being a bitch. You wanted this. Stop being a bitch. Why are you doing this for? Moaning about the action. Shut up, mate.
I'm just trying to think if I was there or not for that one.
No, because you did the one after.
Was it one after?
Yes. Because he was moaning, going, I don't like wrestling, Kelsey. I'm like, well, shut up, mate. No one likes wrestling you. You look ugly. You got sausage tits. Who cares?
And do makes it even more scary. The fact that I actually know who he's referring to, but I am not naming names.
You'll have to tell me after the interview.
Oh, well. I think one of the ones I was really impressed with was like just before my first kid was born. A week before, I went to Blackpool for Slam and wrestled RGM, aka Sam Gradwell. And he was like the first, like he has muscles on his chin. He had a 6-pack on his chin. He was bulky, and he was like, I remember playing the match with him, and he was like honest about some stuff. I didn't know what he was on about. But we got in the match. I remember he chopped me 4 times. My ancestors felt it. But I rolled back in, come back in, I punched him straight in his face, so I don't ever fucking do that again. And then we had a really good match. No, we had a really good match. Like, it was a 25-minute match for like 500 people in Blackpool Central Pier. It was like, yes, my friend. And like we come backstage, just hugs and everything. It was just, and I went to his pace. And he was happy with it. So I was like, you know what, I can do this cardio thing.
Yeah.
Good old cardio.
Plenty, good memories. One thing I will say with wrestling is there anything that is there any target that you can see, that you're aiming for the future when everything's all back to how it should be with, in the current, in the current condition when we're back to normal. I
know that I'm not super for WWE. That is something I know. At the end of the day, if I put all my marbles in the basket like way before, then maybe, just maybe. Now I just want to make sure that I'm wrestling regularly, getting decent pay for it, and just entertaining at the moment. I'm not concentrating on anything. I just want to make sure that I'm perfecting my craft.
Well, that's one thing I will say about it is that I've watched a couple of the UKWA matches now, and one thing I will say is you certainly know how to get a crowd red up.
That's nothing. That is nothing.
I mean, how many times did you have old ladies trying to beat you with the purses?
I've had riots. I mean, literal riots. And Matt Burns has seen them as well. He was at one where I was the first match, and I got these 4 guys. They were drunk, and I got them riled up. And they wouldn't fight me because I even got out to it and said, "Do you want to start something?" And they were like, "No." They waited till the next match to jump the wrestlers.
Yeah, cheers. Cheers for that, Kels.
And it was like, "What happened?" And like the guys were going, "It's all me. I'm a good face." And the chipper went, "No, it was Kelsey." And they was like, "I don't like that big fat guy. He called us perverts. He called us pedos and stuff." I'm like, "Well, you look like pedos. You've taken pockets into a church toilet." I'm not joking. This is what happened.
One thing I will say
I have actually heard this story as well, so I know.
I will say this to you. He knows how to, as in wrestling, he knows how to generate heat.
White heat.
White hot heat. It's like
white heat.
Unless whenever I'm going to a show with Kelsey, the first thing that I'm sitting there thinking to myself, am I against him? If I am, I know it's going to be a good match. It's going to be great. If I'm not against him, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, do not be after him. Do not be after him.
And what happened, Mr. Burns?
He had a stinky match.
No.
He did, because you was the first match after the second half, and unfortunately the crowd was died down, and there was like waiting, and unfortunately the riot ruined everything.
And let me just say this, more than once, by the way.
Oh yes. I remember I was at a show and I had like 4 guys come up to go in, like, because I was doing like a taxman gimmick like back in the day, and like me and like Jim Hunt, who was the taxman, I was the VAT man, is a big deal, and like 4 guys come up to me going, "Oh, you were the taxman?" I'm like, "No," my good old accent, going, "No, mate, I'm not George Osborne. I'm like the big deal, mate." And like, "Oh, you're George Osborne?" I'm like, "No, I'm a wrestler. We're all names like Charles. What are you on about?" And then like they pulled a knife out. And I remember just thinking, fuck this, and just went for it. I was lucky. Very, very, very lucky.
Which goes to show that in the wrestling world, it can be very, very dangerous.
It is. At the end of the day, I'm not going to like try and get shot. But if I can rile you up, I'm going to rile you up, because at the end of the day, I'm in spandex leather boots here. You're in full clothes. What are you going to do to me? Nothing. Like, I remember going to like Leicester once, had this big boy guy's like, he's like threatening to knock me. I was like, "Come on then, I'm fat, you're bulky, I'm gonna knock you out, mate. Come on." And this is like during the match, I went out to him and got in his face, and he went to the back and started crying. I was like, "Mate, you're nothing to me. You're nothing. I'm not scared of anybody. It's not just the fact I'm scared. It's the fact of like, I'm doing my job to get you riled up, and if you can't handle that heat, get out of my kitchen."
That is one thing I will say about wrestling now, is that if you're going to go to any wrestling event, I mean, if you're taking your kids, you're going to get, obviously it's within a certain, but if you're going like an 18+ show, if you can't handle banter and you can't handle heat, don't fucking go.
Oh yeah, I believe it. Yeah, don't try to steer is what you're trying to state.
Pretty much, yeah. Don't steer the pot if you can't handle what a wrestler at the end of the day is going to be very quick-witted. And I've not known Charles that long, but I know for a fact that he's got a sharp tongue that he can cut his own throat with.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're gonna steer up shit around him, don't just make sure you can handle it when he throws it back at you.
Don't talk shit to a shit talker.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've seen wrestlers do it before, when they've said something and then someone's got in their face and then they've turned 180. Like, It's like, what's the point? What's the point of you actually trying to get that heat? I understand that you don't want to cause fights, but if you're going to insult somebody, expect it back. Like me, because I'm a big boy, I know exactly what's going to be said. I'm like, wait, what do you do? It's not. I've heard it all before. Go away. I've had old grannies hit me with sticks and broken my face. It doesn't bother me. That's a good one though. Like when I first started like getting really into it, like, I was at a show and this old woman and this like her kid, her grandson, he was a podgy little thing. It's fair enough though. At the end, the kid's allowed to be podgy, but he kept like swearing at me, and then like, I got out the ring, and they were saying something. I went, "Listen, Mr. Blobby, shut your bloody mouth." And this old woman, she threw a cane like she hit me with a cane. I thought I was going to dodge it in time. I'm staring at this cane coming toward me, going, "It's not going to hit me. It's not going to hit me." It got about 2 inches away from my face. I went, "Oh shit, it's going to hit me." It broke. I got a big cut on my face, and I went, "Oh, I bet you hit like a man." So I run off. She's chasing after me. The other side, the granddad in his Zimmer frame, is chasing after me the other side. And then like I'm like at the other end of the bed again, put my two fingers going, what are you going to do? Nothing, you can't even catch me.
Oh my god, that's great.
Guaranteed, whenever you go to a show, if you ever see on the card Charles Kelsey, I can pretty much guarantee you will get your money's worth and then some.
I remember watching Dusty Rhodes DVD, and as he said the phrase, he went, "Some people might have lost their jobs. Some people might just be using like their benefits. Let's say good old universal credit. At the end of the day, that doesn't bother me. People on that. At the end of the day, you're paying your money to watch a wrestling show. I'm going to give you an experience which you might not like, but you'll appreciate it afterwards because it's the story of my match. And you can come away going, that was well spent. That £5-10 was well spent."
Or it's just the case that you've done your job properly. If they're going away, whether they liked it or not, talking about it.
Exactly. That's my whole point of it. People like try and do the spots and everything, but I rather make my thing's about the story. The good old story. At the end of the day, you could think, oh yeah, he done about 4 moonsaults, but that Charles Kelsey fella told everyone that they're wasting Mandosas. Some guy tried to fight him, and he still won the match somehow. It's like, well, guess what? That's my job done. I'm a storyteller. I like just telling stories.
I've got to bring up one story now.
Which one?
All I'll say is May 4th.
Oh, yes.
May the 4th be with you.
Well,
Oh,
we had a birthday show, and it was Minecraft, and I hate Minecraft.
All I'll say to you is how. Please continue.
And so that day, like the parents showed me the cake, and it was a Minecraft cake. I went, "Don't take it the wrong way. Go buy another one because if you put that in my face later on, I'm going to smash it." And the promoter at the time was like, no, good old Star Wars, little things. I was like, okay, call me Darth Kelsey. So the announcer didn't hear what the promoter said, and I got announced as Darth Kelsey. And I'll come out, I was in my cape. I was like, yes, boy. I was defending the belt, and the parents did what I told them not to do. And this cake comes towards me, and I just swat it out the hand. I mean, I swat it. It explodes everywhere. I chucked the cake at the birthday kid. And he's angry with me. They're throwing sandwiches at me and everything like that. It was an experience.
No kidding, it was an experience.
And then it was like, oh, you shouldn't be doing that. We don't. And like every time they threw something at me, I threw it them back. And I got every single adult, every single kid going, "Oh, you fat fuck!" I'm like, "Well, come on then, let's go. I'll take all 200 of you on anyway right now."
All I will say to you is the best way to explain what had actually happened. It went from a wrestling match to a food fight.
Wow, somebody got the money's worth.
All I will say is, I can't remember who it was. As soon as it happened, I just remember someone just say, "Someone run to the shop, get an extra cake immediately."
No, they already got the cake at that point. They have to get extra bread and stuff and make sandwiches on the go.
Or more or less, more ammunition, you mean?
No, they didn't chuck it later on because, like, the pro correct way, can we not chuck food in the place? And everyone's like booing out, going, "Oh, he caused it, he caused it." I'm like, yeah, but you shouldn't be chucking stuff anyway. You're just respectful fools.
I will say that was an experience watching that. I thought I'd just mention that one. And one thing, there is one more story I've got to bring up. Because you've already hinted on it. More or less the end of it, which was the ICW.
Oh, meeting Sabu was amazing because he couldn't shake my hand because he didn't know where my hand was. I'm not joking. Like he was trying to shake my hand and he shook everyone else's hand because they guided their hands to him. Now I just took my hand out and he was like trying to get it and he was touching my hand but not shaking it. And after a while he finally shook it. He was like, "Great work, kid," like he was a worker. I was like, "But I didn't wrestle tonight. I'm in a suit." But thank you anyway.
Yeah. Let me just point this out. What Kelsey just mentioned. Just
He was
at
He
ICW.
was a bit high.
At ICW, we're at ICW, which has got some dedicated fans, to put it mildly.
So what?
Pretty much. And if I'm not mistaken, at one point we even had a "We Want Fire."
I was drunk. I didn't care. I wanted everything. I wanted extreme.
All I'll say to you is, out of the entire audience, usually you don't see anyone stick out like a sore thumb. One did.
The man in the suit.
A man in an expensive suit. And I'm pretty sure that Irvine's going to take one guess at who that was.
Definitely wasn't you, Matt.
Oh, definitely wasn't.
I don't think it was you, Mr. Burns.
No. I'm pretty sure you'll knock it out of the park who it was.
Was it Tatanka?
Imagine he was quite a nice guy.
Yeah.
But did you wrestle him? You're not a pro, until you've wrestled him.
Don't make sense.
Don't make sense, mate.
Don't make sense.
Don't make sense. Where's my fucking monster? Anyway. You can have all your ones. Keep the green shit for me.
All I'll just say is, I remember it because it was an absolutely brilliant night. I also, if I'm not mistaken, I believe you actually met, current Drew McIntyre as well.
Yeah, we shook hands. He was like, "Hello, hello," and that was it.
But it was a good night, though.
It was a very good night. Didn't get arrested, so that's a good thing. And they have like 3 points in a cup for like £3.50. I was like, oh. Normally, don't buy anything for £3.50, but that was worth it.
All I'll say to you is, immediately as soon as I saw how much, as soon as I saw that, I was like, it's going to be a messy night, and I'm the designated driver.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be fun.
Very fun.
Which it was. Because as much as it, at the time, probably I was cursing over the says nothing himself, he just almost got arrested. One thing I will say is, I've got absolute funny, hilarious memories that I will never forget.
By the way, I've got a bone to pick with you, Mr. Burns. Why are you punching me in the intro of The Burning Truth? I'm not happy about that.
Punching you?
Yes. For the little thing, your little marble thing that comes up and down, the big old thing. I can see me. I'm not happy because I'm punching somebody. And there's you punching me. Why is that? It shouldn't be having you in there. You're not an active wrestler anymore. You're a waste man now.
Excuse me? I am still an active wrestler.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, he wrestles with his subconscious all the time.
And his member.
Yes, he loves tugging on that old Big Dick Johnson.
He's so lonely, that's why.
Or he loves tugging on that Ricky Steamboat. How are these references going for you? Are they all right? Are they clicking with you yet?
They make sense.
Do they make sense?
This makes sense. It's okay.
Now, if I recall, if you want to go on to referring to that picture, weren't you the one who was sitting there saying, "Hit me"?
I had to put you over on your birthday. That'd do something.
Yeah, that'd make you feel special.
Special friend.
Oh, friend.
Special friend.
Friend.
But yeah,
I love you, Kelsey.
I love you, birds.
Oh, fucking hell.
One thing I want to say, I'm just going to point out now is there anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Everyone really, at the end of the day, as you guys know, I can promote myself and put myself over and talk about myself all day long, but I think what I like people to just realise at the moment, shout out to everybody, because watch wrestling still. At the end of the day, you've still got your WWE, your AEW, your Impact every now and again, New Japan if you can get that. You've still got YouTube where you can watch MLW and everything like that. Just still watch
AEW
wrestling.
Dark.
AEW Dark, and there's going to be like AEW Dark Revolution soon or something like that.
I've enjoyed watching guerrilla wrestling with
it's amazing.
Matt Burns. I actually love that.
I love guerrilla pro wrestling. Love it. No, all that stuff at the end there, I think that a lot of wrestlers need to be hollered at because they don't get like the recognition they deserve, some of them, especially like the hard-working ones that aren't your main guys, but they're pretty good.
Yeah.
You mean your workhorses?
Not just the workhorses, like heck of a place. Even like you're not most over wrestlers still deserves a little bit because they've still got a crowd going in a way, or they've actually put effort into a match and try to make it look good. Which a lot of people don't appreciate, but I appreciate it because, like, you know what, you didn't have to try. As soon as the crowd was not into it, you could have stopped, but they don't, and I appreciate those guys a lot more than usual.
Well, here's my question for you. What's your thoughts on the indie scene, like indie wrestling?
It took a hit. Just so when I explained to somebody, I was like, wrestling's at the moment it's got like a bandage on, like a bit of a plaster. At the end of the day, it's got a big boo boo.
Yeah,
but that boo boo's going to heal, and I think it'll come back better enough because people are going to want to try and get into like NXT. They're going to try and get into AEW or Impact, or they're going to try to go to other companies, other countries. I think once lockdown's over and we can start wrestling again, that the population is going to get better and better and better because we want to do something this time. Because before, unfortunately, with wrestling, some companies, there's like a little clique of friends.
Yeah.
And it's fair enough at the end of the day, those friends are really good. But the booked, so now it's going to give people opportunity to try and get to that next place and that next spot. Because like, I'm going to worry about this guy being on there because he's now in, like, let's say, WWE. So I'm going to try and get on this spot now. And it's going to give people motivation to actually, like, try and be, like, better than they should be.
Yeah. No, that's a good way of looking at it. No, it's generally a good way of looking at things. Because I know there's been certain mixed reviews, certain people being a bit mixed about it, but that is a really, really good way of looking at it. Because, like you said, with the wrestling industry, there's always a revolving door almost. Would you agree with that?
Mm-hmm. People always come in and people always go
out. Here's my question for you, though, Mr. Burns.
Go on.
Would you like a piece of tissue?
What?
Would you like a piece of tissue?
Why?
Because once you finish sniffing Kelsey's arse, you might be able to wipe that shit off the end of your nose.
Really?
Love you, Kelsey.
Someone's going to love me, so I might as well be Matt Burns.
Yeah, it may as well be.
And Chris.
I love you, but not in a way that you think.
Yet. Fuck you till you love me, bitch.
Belt warmer.
Let's see how long I've had 2 belts for. Depending. Let's see. I've had more belts than you. Got a fake belt. That's from WWE. Mine's not yours. Well, mine's been held up by Gorilla Glue, so it's okay. Just to let people know, when Matt Burns bought UKWA, he didn't know the condition of the belt. I took it off Basham. And I think I'm the only person to ever use it to the extent it was being used at. I took everywhere. And then we had to retire it in the end because, I became the UKWA champion. And then you were trying to get it repaired because it was getting a bit battered. And then the Gorilla Glue came along.
No. It was when we found out it was being held by Gorilla Glue, and it was literally, I am so glad I've just retired this belt.
And how many times had that been bounced off somebody's, somebody's noggin?
Let's see. I've took it to companies where I weren't supposed to take it to. And I've hit people with it.
Yep.
So I think I could over 30 times.
How did that not come apart? Seriously.
I have no idea. And
it's Gorilla Glue on metal and leather.
All I can say is this. The belt loved me and I love the belt, so it's okay. True love.
All I will say is, on one of the hits, it was one of them. All I'll say to you is, as soon as you see, if you were there and you saw it, you'd be like, oh.
Was this Big Rich?
Oh.
That was in that. I have to admit, I didn't mean to hurt Big Rich like that. I hit him in the head, and he always had a big old. And that was for me hitting him with the belt, and then I hit him with my knee, and I was a big old.
I think the belt made more noise than the ring bell.
That ring bell?
Yeah.
He couldn't hear it, you see, because it was still ringing in his ears after he hit him in the head.
Probably, yeah.
I know he had a big, nice shine on his face.
Oh.
Yeah, two of them. One on his cheek and one on his forehead.
Yeah, but these kind of things happen.
It's not ballet.
I don't want to spoil it for people, but wrestling is real.
How can I put this in the nicest way? There are some things that people will say it's fake, but when I put my blood on the line and I'll get 3 concussions, I've dislocated my elbow, dislocated my ankle, dislocated my shoulder, I've nearly broken bones. Like, my fingers I've probably broke 1,000 times, literally, in a wrestling ring. And Matt Burns will tell you, once I was in a cage match and I had a concussion, I didn't know what my name was, where I lived, who my family were, didn't know who Matt Burns, didn't know anybody, knew the match, off by heart.
Yeah, there's me on the long journey back home, sitting there thinking to myself, how am I going to explain this to his family?
And then I wrestled the next day and watched WrestleMania drunk. It was great.
What's a concussion? What's a concussion between friends, beer, and WrestleMania?
It was nothing because I got nice pizza. I was very happy. I was like,
that's
what?
okay.
Batman, pizza. I got concussion, I got beer. It's okay. I'll deal with it.
Albeit, I will say, as you can probably gather, he did eventually remember, just as we pulled up outside of his house.
Yeah, I think literally, as soon as Portal was like, oh yeah, I live here. Oh yeah, my wife lives in there. I don't think they're going to be happy with me. Okay, let's go.
I have a wife?
No, but as you can imagine, I'm just there thinking to myself, how am I going to explain this? How am I going to explain this? Pulled up. I remember. Right, that's it. You can explain it.
I didn't need to explain. I was like, yeah, I just had took a bump. It's okay. I think the thing I didn't like most is at that time I was wearing fake tan and I smelled like biscuit. I was like, I don't like this feeling. I don't know what I am, but I smell like biscuit. Why do I smell like digested biscuits? Go away.
Oh, God. So I want to know, have you got a list of wrestlers that you actually want to wrestle in the UK currently?
Yes.
Care to share?
Yes, so Rampage Brown.
Oof.
I would like to
Great
wrestle.
match that would be.
I'd like to have a little rematch with Amari. Because I was his first ever match, and I think that we have a score to settle.
Oh.
I do want Colt Miles because my own personal reasons. Who else is there? There's like loads. Like you see all these people like, oh, we should go wrestling. Like I like to wrestle Maloney because I love Dan Maloney. I think he's a workhorse and he knows what he's doing. Like especially when I know him personally, but he's amazing.
He's built like a unit. Nice, genuine, all round, awesome, nice guy as well.
Definitely. There's not many big guys though. That's the problem with me because like a lot of big guys have gone, unfortunately. Like Rampage Brown, luckily, he's in the UK still because of the NXT UK, so there's a chance. But it's hard for me like to wrestle big guys because how can I put it in a nice way? I don't wrestle big guys that often because I'm 6'4", and I either get someone who's my height but they're skinny, or they're 5'5" and as large as a house, not in a good way. And I want to play the big man. It's like, no, I'm 6'4". I'll probably outweigh you as well. Do not try and do this to me, thank you.
If you want to... I've just had a flooding memory of a certain Rumble match, but we won't mention names.
Was it the trainee?
I believe it was the one where he thought he was bigger than
Mike
you.
Yeah, his first ever Rumble, his first ever thing he's going to do in wrestling. I understand it's nerves and you're hyper and stuff, but when you're bumping not great for myself, it's like, okay, I can deal with that because you're a newbie. But then you start trying to think you Mike Tyson, you give me jabs, or you give me a right hook, and I don't need this. I felt like the blood coming down my nose, and I just kicked him straight in his face, and he's got like an imprint on my foot there.
I'm pretty sure that the police could have got
7. I beat the 7 shades of crap out of him.
I'm pretty sure if the police wanted, a shoe profile, they would have, or a boot profile of his wrestling boots, they could have got off his face.
I think the worst part was like after a while, there's another Rumble of him, and this is one where Matt was in, and he was. For some reason, he thought a clothesline was a straight arm and trying to hit me in the nose. And one of the times I was like on my knees. It was lucky that Paul Malin was there because he stopped me. And then he did it again, and I just up I was just slagging him off, going, you know what, mate? He's terrible. He doesn't listen. And this one punched him straight in his face. I'm like, you're nothing, mate. You don't listen. You're absolutely terrible. Get your cardio up. And I chucked him out. He's supposed to last till like the final 4. And he left about halfway through the Rumble.
Yeah.
I know it sounds bad, and I do feel bad for it, but it's like, just because your new missus in the crowd, don't do that. At the end of the day, if you hit me, I don't mind being hit. I'm a big guy. I can take being hit. At the end of the day, this ain't ballet.
Yeah.
You know, I've hit some people with some potatoes, aka my hands, but I haven't meant to. But we have a laugh about it. But you don't keep doing it over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's like, come on, bro, chill out.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe I was actually involved. I was there with, watching on, and I was just there thinking to myself, ease up, it was an accident. And then the repeat offence happened. It was like, oh dear, he's all yours.
Yeah, because the first time it happened, you got to me, you was like, don't, it's an accident. I was like, I know, mate, come on, chill out. Then it happened when I was on my knees. I was like, I'm not, okay. But Paul Mann stopped me. And then the third time, I was like, you know what? You're getting it now. You're getting it.
For me, it was more likely just stay out the way. stay away from that vicinity.
I don't mind people being stiff, but there's a line to it. It's like, come on, chill out.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you're in one, but this is your learning experience. You don't need to be so stiff. Like, your body doesn't need to be stiff enough. You just be relaxed and chill out.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, like, especially Rumbles, like, some people don't understand that Rumbles are very good for learning experiences, especially when you first start, because then you've got the veterans and they can tell you what to do and they can help you out in ways where you think, oh, this Rumble, I didn't like doing this, let's try something else in the next Rumble, but you won't do the same thing which didn't work. I've not spoken to him ever since because I remember he stayed well away from me.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
I wasn't surprised either, but still.
Well, I'm also thinking, like, what about local wrestlers? Is there a list?
The problem is I wrestle most of them.
Not really.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
Any?
That's Matt Burns. Most of them are wrestled, but especially like from around here.
Mhm.
Like,
Is there any that you would want to have a return match against? Someone who you'd want to have a rematch against, like you said with like Amari and everybody.
well, I want to rematch with Amari because two different styles now. Like back then, I was like in a shirt and stuff and everything. I don't want to say Mark Clark because I've wrestled him about 5 bazillion times.
Mm-hmm.
I like wrestling, but there's a difference. I don't mind Jack, who you had on the podcast the other day, Mr. AWOL Jack.
Mm-hmm.
He's someone I wouldn't mind doing because he's like young and
Jack Knudsen, you know about?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Who else is there? I mean, the problem.
What about Angus James, by any chance? Formerly known as Squirt.
Oh, I don't think he can handle it.
Oh.
Yeah, me sweetie baby. Let's go, champ.
All I'll say to you is that would be a match I would love to actually see myself.
Yeah, and me.
I remember when it was going to happen. Then they turned him, and then he requested it. It was like, let's just me and Kelsey go at it. Let's go. I was like, yeah, let's do it. And then they threw me away.
No,
and then that's a whole different story, which I'm never going to get into on a podcast because that person is not worth it.
No.
No, they're not. It's not...
yeah,
we don't want to get in trouble for it, unlike somebody else.
And I'll tell them straight to the face, which I've already done before, so it's okay.
That's okay. That's probably the reason why they don't like you.
No, but a lot of people like me, so it's okay.
I do.
Didn't when we first met, he was like, who's this lump?
But anyway, let's get back to where. But anyway, I'm gonna have to say that's about rough time for a bit of a wrap up. So,
what? That's nothing. You asked Jack loads more questions than this.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
You asked Jack tons more questions.
You had more
Stop trying
stories.
to wrap it up. Stop trying to wrap it up like a Durex with a hole in it.
You know what?
Are you like one of these like people who think like putting cling film around their bellies makes you lose weight faster? Let's wrap it up. Come on.
I believe someone's been watching the full Monty a bit too much.
Hey, I was a kid at Dudley, mate. Nothing else on BBC.
I was about to say, it's all the BBC knew.
Yeah, exactly. Now.
It's like, we've run out of fucking shit satire to put on the TV. I know, let's put on the full Monty.
And also, Matt Burns, you're the one to bring up my stories, not me. You're telling my stories without me telling them. So how can I answer my own stories if you're saying it?
Okay. We'll extend a little bit. We'll go a bit further. Explain any stories that you would like to share.
No, you're the people who's meant to ask me the questions so I can answer those with the stories, not just go, tell a story.
No, Irvine, any questions?
He's laughing at you, so I can ask you a question.
Oh,
come on, BT.
dear.
I jumped so
Before
high.
the show, we were just like, Matt Burns, you take the lead. Yeah, okay then. Irvine, got any questions?
Has Matt Burns ever told you the time where he thought he jumped so high?
Oh, fucker.
I
thought I was going to get away with this one.
So it was Matt Burns versus Tim Burns in a cage match. Now, Matt Burns has never been in a cage before, so he runs off the ropes, hits himself the cage, and all I heard from the backstage was, I hit my head, matey. And then they go through the match, and he takes a choke slam. Now, to Matt's credit, he thought he went really high because he planked it. So, of course, when your head feels it's all the way up there, he thought he jumped and he only went about an inch off the floor. It was a spectacle. Then he come back to me afterwards. He's like, "Oh, matey, I've hurt my head. I jumped so high." I was like, "Okay, I'll watch the DVD when it comes." He's like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll watch it on DVD." And then, unfortunately, my fiasco happened. And then we was watching it on like one of the before Burning Truth, like the first one was on. And he went, "Here's the match." I was like, "I know, I've watched it. Do you want other people to watch it?" "Yeah, let's all watch it again. Let's watch you jumping so high, matey."
And what it was, I didn't know about this myself. And then I was like, No, I didn't. I actually thought at the time, I didn't actually watch it myself then.
Oh,
That was
make her
actually
jump
first
so
time.
high.
I thought it jumped so high. I was like, oh, here comes the moment when I jump. What the?
It was, and then he wrestled Tim later in a cage a couple of weeks later in All Stager. And he re-jumped then though. He jumped proper high there, and I was very proud.
Oh,
Did you learn from your mistakes?
Oh no, I think the what made me more funny is I learned from my mistake. I think what Kelsey's also referring to is the body slam after.
Nope, I'm not going up. You're going over. No, I'm not. Oh, he was a bit spoof. And then I remember because you were first, it was me next.
Did the ring shatter?
Well, like you did with Spike.
Oh,
I suplexed him and broke the board.
if I'm not mistaken, that was the month I could have nicknamed you the Ring Destroyer.
Yes, because
no. Why? Why would you do that?
Wrestling Ring Destroyer. There you go.
Thank you, weirdo.
We'll continue.
Nasty stuff.
Continue, please.
No, so I remember like that month was really bad because I went to Wales. I did a power slam, but then the board come out a little bit too much, and it snapped the corner off. So I broke a board technically. Then I went to FCW. I was in a match, but I didn't break the ring. But someone went off the ropes, and the ring just went. And then I'm there going, what is this? And then 5 days later, I went to United Wrestling, suplexed some guy, and I suplexed. Oh, it was a beautiful suplex. And I heard a big crunch. And Matt's there going, you broke the ring. I'm like, no, I haven't. What are you on about? What are you trying to break paper for? What are you doing? And then like afterwards, I was like, oh, there's a big crack in the. Well, I was like, oh, that was definitely me then.
No, for those, I've managed to actually train a little bit with Kelsey, and I'm not gonna lie, the boards were straight when I got in the ring. When Kelsey got in the ring, when we left, the boards were not fucking straight. They were all over the fucking place.
I like to. Well, one, they need to put the boards up a bit proper, then put some tape on and make sure they don't move as much. And that's just. Yeah, if you protect the corners, any like the edges, you tape. Like you put the board and the ring, you tape that together, so it doesn't go far because then it just bounces back into place.
Oh well, we all know who needs to sort that one out.
Makes no sense, mate. But anyway, no, I like to do my bumps very hard because at the end of the day, it doesn't hurt me then because if I take a good bump, you know about it because you hear it. But anyway, no. So I've done that, and I was like, then Matt was like, "You're the ring breaker." I was like, "What are you on about? What are you on about rings for? I'm not into that kind of stuff. What are you on about?" He's like, "No, I like the wrestling rings." that it doesn't have a black country accent like that, but still, he was like, "Oh, you broke these rings." I was like, "No, I didn't break them. They just didn't function properly."
They weren't up to code.
They're going to handle it.
Well, for those, obviously, because we're more than likely going to have listeners from different countries. Those that don't know what the Black Country is, it's basically Birmingham.
No.
It is. It's Birmingham, isn't it?
Birmingham,
it is.
Birmingham. The Black Country is Dudley.
It's Brumby.
It's Brumby. No, it's not Brumby.
It's Brumby. Oh, it's not Brumby.
We don't talk like that anyway. You can't even do it. It sounds more Scottish. What are you on about?
It doesn't sound Scottish at all.
No. You sound Scottish, you donk.
No, I don't.
Yes,
donk.
you do. Yes, you do. Because you're there going, oh, I think I could talk in this accent. And it's a Brummy accent, but it's not a Brummy accent because they're two different things. But I'm going to sound more Scottish-like.
No, that does not sound Scottish. That sounded more Scouse. You sounded Scouse then.
I can't do a Scouse accent apart from
you just did.
Chicken and Canico going, chicken and cock. That's the only thing I can do. That's the only Scouse thing I can ever do.
Oh, that is brilliant.
And that's because when I work, my former manager was a proper Scouse. So she talked like that. I was like, that's the only thing I can say about it.
So basically, Black Country is just outside of Birmingham. Then, if you want to get
Yes,
anal
it
about
is. Yes, it actually is. 10 miles
why,
to be exact.
That's why they sound the same. But
No,
yeah,
they sound
anyway,
different.
let's get rid of. We're just moving on now from that one.
Shush.
We are. We're moving on from that one. No.
Before Matt starts moaning about, let's wrap it up again. Let's wrap it
Yeah,
up.
let's wrap it up again.
No,
just like
no,
Johnny.
I'm not...
Yes. It always comes back to him, doesn't it? Really.
Mm-hmm. He's there to take it.
That's Big Dick Johnson.
Anyway.
Oh dear, it's not the first time Matt Burns has had a ribbing this week.
Oh, you should see him like when we was down in Wales. Like I was in a rumble with him after he had like his worst ever match I've ever seen him do. Me personally, it was a bad night for him. And I remember like
Bad night.
it was supposed to be the first defense of the UKWA belt, and I was against AJ because he was the champion at Fusion, and things happened, and I was supposed to do 10 minutes, I did half an hour. Brutal stuff, and then like in a rumble that was never previewed on when it was recorded. We have a little fist fight, and then like throughout the whole thing of it, I was just ribbing and going, like kept jumping into stuff, going, "I'm so high, matey."
So high, I fly high.
I fly high, matey. And I was just ribbing him, and he's just not happy. Like he wouldn't talk to me for like about 10 minutes in the car afterwards. And a 3-hour journey back. It was like, oh.
You had a sulk in the car, Matt Burns.
Nope.
Yes, he did. Yes, he
It
did.
wasn't
You
a sulk.
had a sulk. Oh,
I did not have a sulk.
God bless.
I
Do you
did
hear
not
that?
have a sulk.
Do you hear that?
Oh.
Salt. If I had
Oh.
some chips right now, that'd be the perfect amount of salt to put on my chips, mate.
No salt here. I just remember at one point during the rumble, what did set me off a little bit was when Kelsey just goes, "Get up," and he knows why.
I hate when people say they
No.
can get up in time, and you're like, "Get up." Oh, you mean you?
No. You said it to me in that rumble because of what happened earlier on.
You didn't have a very good match, and you even said it yourself to like everyone. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna rip you now. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna make sure that you break character here, my friend. And I'll just get like, this guy was on the floor. I knew he wouldn't get up because he's gassed. He's not doing anything. And they're going, "Get up! Get up!" And then I'm screaming at him. Then at one point I'm going, "Get the fuck up!"
All I'll say to you
screaming at
is, Botchamania, send for the man. I just cracked up. I just cracked up.
I've done it before as well. Like I was in a match. It was against Regan. I would love his like dearly, but he was a face at the time, and I was doing the whole Scott Steiner promo while him and Chris Drew were listening and doing commentary. And it was like the mathematic one. I knew that word for word, and like I was taking the screen. Right, no, we go 1-on-1 with no wrestler. I'm taking it back by drop. Here we go. There's a 50-50 chance of winning. And then like I took a close on and went, "But I'm a generic freak." And then took like a big body slam and then I'm not normal. And then it was just I got so gassed because I was like bumping and talking and bumping and talking. Oh, that's horrible.
Oh God.
And then I think Dave Mastiff was at a rumble. Like I had like some like gauntlet thing, and like the referee like he was really annoying me. So I started shouting, going, "Mean, woo! My God, Gene!" And like I heard Dave Mastiff go, "What the fuck is he on about?" He's laughing at me, and everyone's going, "Oh my God, what is going on here?" I'm just Or like if you get Chris Drew, do anything Ric Flair with Chris Drew, and he'll laugh at you because like Ric Flair likes to do like the little bump, which I always do anyway, and he'll start going, "Ah," he'll get louder and louder. But like the third thing he's going to go, "Oh God," and like he has to like a fake, so everything just cracks him up every time. And everyone's like, "What is he doing?" I just don't care. At the end of the day, I like to have fun as well. As serious, as big as I am, I like to have a little fun.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that because the amount of times I've had matches against yourself, and at some point, I'm so glad I've had to take a certain bump because I'm.
I mean, like the time where it was in Breen, and I've wrestled like 3 times a day before, had no voice. I hit you with a death blow. That's called a roaring elbow, by the way, people. And so I hit him with it, and literally I hit him. I'm about to say something. I go win. I go, and I lost my voice completely.
No. Even though that was
Yes, it
funny.
was because you were giggling. You were giggling on the floor like a little girl.
No, that wasn't
Yes,
was not the giggling one.
Oh, you wanted to start that on you? Like when you kicked out, like do press ups on your hair?
No. No, the proper. If you want the proper the one where I'm giggling, but the one where I'm properly, giggling in the ring was when you. And the ironic is, it was the death blow move you hit me with. And with the elbow to the back of the head.
Move the fuck out of my way!
Every time.
They have to do it a couple of weeks later and hit it, and then like our old friend just got up and started clapping.
Because he finally got to see it.
So the referee got in the way, and like I hit this beautiful blow on him. Matt Burns it, and he was like, "Move the fuck out of my way!" And it was like, "Oh my god, here we go."
By then, I was gone. I was gone.
I think you cracked up really badly when I oversold the powerbomb you gave me because I like went from one corner to the other corner without Matt Burns doing anything.
Oh, you're on about the that was the was that the face up? Was it? No, it was tag match, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Same one I hit the death blow and lost my voice.
Well, talking about tag teams and stuff like that, because it's one subject that we haven't really touched on yet with you two. Because for those that don't know, it's that Charles Kelsey and Matt Burns,
the Jolly Boys,
and they do tag together. And yeah, to say that they're entertaining is an understatement.
How can I put this? It's like tagging with your older brothers, not as fun as you, so you got to make it last.
I'm going to say this without dropping any company names, right? Because I've watched you both have a tag match, and it was funny, it was entertaining, and I enjoyed it. And it was only 1 or 2 matches that made sense on that particular night. So every single time, though, I've seen you two wrestle together. You have a good chemistry. So it's actually a question for not just Matt Burns, but mainly for yourself, Kelsey. But who would you two actually like to face? Because we've gone into the solos, but what about the tag matches? Who would you like to face tag team wise?
With Matt, I would like to face Hellbound because they're the same size as us and personal things like those, like the big guys. I mean, like you've got. I would like to face Connors and Black, but unfortunately Connors is gone, unfortunately, because he retired. The problem is, there's like loads of tag teams, but they're always like. I personally don't care who I wrestle, to be honest, because at the end of the day, I always find it the challenge to match their style with your style and make it make sense. Yeah. Of course, because it makes sense, but. Like, because our games are so different, especially even if I'm a face or a heel, where Matt is the powerhouse of our group, apparently. I'm put that in apostrophe marks, the powerhouse.
No, I'm not.
But there, you're the powerhouse, Matt Burns. It's weird because I generally find us, like, quite entertaining because I'm, like, very falling horsey, just, like, taking the mick out of everything, just happy, doing what I'm doing. Then, like, putting a switch on and, like, especially like different tag teams, like there's some of them you'll wrestle and they're too serious, and it's like, you're a bit too serious here. You don't need to be serious, especially like the size of you. You're 5 foot tall. Why are you doing this for? But still,
there is one team I definitely would want us to go against, definitely, just because they're absolutely an amazing tag team. You pretty much know who. You already know them. You've had matches against them.
The Hunters, yeah. I'm sorry, it's just the fact I've had the rest of the Hunters quite a few times, so it's like I love them because, in my opinion, they're the most underrated tag team in the UK.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they are so underrated. They're from Tipton as well, so they got my accent, ain't they? So it's all great. But they should be on XC. I mean that with all honesty. They should be everywhere.
I would say I actually agree with you on this one. They are currently the best British tag team that is unsigned by a top major company.
Mm-hmm.
Genuinely, and they know how to. If you want to have a entertaining match and you got them on your roster, get them on.
Yeah,
get them on.
Amazing.
Genuinely, highly recommend. You know how to bring the fun. They bring the entertainment every time, and I can guarantee you, the one thing I will say about them that's really interesting is you could probably do a best of 5 match with them, and they will make it different in some way.
They're the only teams that I've seen who will actually change their style. But you get some tag teams, no disrespect to them, but they want their style. It has to be their way, and it has to be like how they want it. The Hunters will do any style. They'll do comedy, serious, whatever you want them to do, they'll do it, and it just suits them. That's what I think puts above everyone else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Just love them. There's like, I wouldn't mind AWOL because there's 2 of them which I really like to wrestle. I said I like to wrestle Jack and good old Benjamin.
Yep, I'd agree with that one as well.
Andrew is all right, but he's from Kidderminster, so he doesn't count.
No, for myself, I've actually been against him. I've actually been against him in a 6-man myself, but I wouldn't mind going against him, as the Jolly Boys. It'd be interesting.
Oh, Jolly. It would. It just there's like lots of tag teams I like to wrestle. Like I like to wrestle Dan Evans and his tag partner. I forgot what they're called. Breeder is bad at me saying that. Like
no, they were formerly known as the Murder
Side F Crew.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll find them too amazing. I would really like to wrestle them with anybody because, like,
which I believe you're referring to Scott Oberman, aren't you?
Yes, and no disrespect to Scott, but like sometimes I like because I like how many concussions I've had. It's a bit hard to like remember some names because like if you showed him, I'm like, yeah, he's amazing, but then I forget his name. You're like, you're useless, aren't you? Really, but it happens.
No, but I can agree.
Really good.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with you on that one. And Dan Evans is always an absolute pleasure to be up against.
Yeah,
always. And I will say, man, the guy's strong like a bull.
Why are you in the gym all day? No wonder.
True.
If I was in the gym all day, I'd look great as well. But I'm not because I'm an idiot. Need to get myself some Mexican supplements, but we don't want to do that, do we? Because might start going like a third chin. Don't want to start doing that though, do ya?
Breaking that jawline, baby.
Oh, making more than one jawline. Like do like my 14 chins and my spotty back, baby.
Oh my god. Why did I just get that image in my head? That is grim.
It's because I've seen some people take it and they've had that effect.
Yeah. And I've also seen some people come out and look like Lou Ferrigno's poo.
But they were still strong though.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Very
strong
very,
smelling as well.
Very strong musk.
Strong, musky looking poo.
Well, I'm actually going to take over Matt Burns' little ditty, and I'm going to say that I think we've got enough there to wrap things up.
Yeah.
I don't think so, but okay.
I really do. I have actually really genuinely enjoyed that. I really, really have. It's been a pleasure.
No problem.
That it has, but before anything ends or anything like that, is where can people basically find you?
Don't look on Twitter because I use it very, very, very rarely. So don't look on there. It's mainly my Facebook page of the Charles Kelsey.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, the Charles Kelsey, no, just Charles Kelsey wrestler. You'll know it's me because I'm in a cloak and I've got 2 belts.
Yeah.
And it's me. It's me. You see like videos on there. That's mainly the place. Or
anywhere else? Instagram?
Fuck no.
Is there any any shout outs? Is there anywhere anyone can get in touch with you for bookings or anything?
Facebook page. You can't do that. You can't say that, Matt, and go, can you book where you can get bookings? I just told you where to look for me.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Burns. God. Even though I was going to ask that.
Is there anybody who you want to give shout outs before we are wrapping up?
The Weasel Chris Drew. The mouth of a brain.
Yeah, because
there's lots of people that I could say like Regan and like my son, my boy AJ Hughes, like Ray Him, and there's like as much as I don't want to say it, bash him because he gets a crowd behind him, yada yada. There's loads of people, but as I said before, everyone just needs to watch like just this YouTube for God's sake. People can just watch it now, or like you got your Power 4 TV.
Yeah. Oh, nice little plug there.
I'm not happy. I've not renewed my thing yet, and they're still taking £4 off me a month.
Don't make sense.
Makes no sense, mate. No sense.
Don't make any sense. For fuck's sake. It's my fucking monster.
Give my fucking monster.
But yeah.
£4 for a fucking can of Monster. I ain't even fucking drinking it
yet. But anyway, genuinely,
Don't give me that Mario shit one.
No, that pink shit. Fruit punch pussies.
All I'll just say is, thank you very much. What?
Only green one.
Anyway, all I'm just going to say is, thank you very much, Kelsey, for being on this episode. Genuinely, it's been a pleasure. Plenty
As
of stories.
Always.
And
thank you very much for having me, boys.
And I'm pretty sure you've probably got more to tell, so who knows, we'll probably have you on again in the future.
Oh, maybe. No, there's no probably about it. I'm actually going to say that.
We're having it.
I think we should do a good sit down and make it a video. What do you say?
Yeah, I agree with that. 100%.
I'll bring Chris Drew next time. He can tell you like most of the stories, which I don't like saying because he has a better recollection of them. Because there are some nasty ones where I'm very, very, very annoyed.
Well, here's another, because obviously the Burning Truth has put out a question, and the question is, who would you like to see next on TBT Interviews?
There's quite a few people. Like, if you like, I would always say like my people, like Chris Drews, AJ Hughes. You can always have you can always have Benjamin. Got his last name, Mr.
Holland.
Yes, Mr. Bishop Holland. You can have him because he's got his own podcast now, hasn't he, as well, with Joshua?
Yes.
Has he?
Yes, the Unicorn Podcast.
Didn't know that.
Yes. It's quite interesting. That's also like people like try and actually like listen to more podcasts. Like, I don't get why people don't like. I try to, but there's sometimes I forget. But just nothing wrong with just actually like put your headphones in, like go for a walk or for a jog and like listen to like random stuff and like getting like the inside of it, which a lot of people don't do, which I find weird. But that's me.
Oh, fair enough.
No,
I think we could bear some of them in mind.
Yeah, genuinely, and it's always fun. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that your son AJ Hughes did actually even put a bit of a comment hinting at himself when that post went out. So who knows?
Ooh.
Who knows? But anyway, all I was to say is thank you very much for being on the show, genuinely. And for everyone who's listened in, thank you very much for listening in. We hope you have actually enjoyed it. And
I have.
And of course, the listeners, who've listened in. We also recommend, this isn't the only place you can catch us. We hope to catch you at the next TBT interview, or every Sunday on the Burning Truth, of course, where both myself and Irvine, where we talk all things wrestling.
Talking bollocks is what we do best.
Pretty much. And who knows? We could even have some interesting topics for that week as well. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. I've been Matt Burns.
I've been James Irvine.
I've been the Dust King, Charles Kelsey.
It has been emotional. Thank you very much, and we'll hopefully catch you soon.
Bye for Why Wednesdays.
Bye-bye.